So where do you start with the one, the only, Mr. Nicky Siano? Welcome to Scotland.
Thanks. Oh, beautiful. Oh,
I must say, he has
I have a nice little view from my hotel. I mean, just the hills and that everywhere. There's just architecture, real architecture.
There is old school architecture, and he knows.
Except in bathrooms.
True. He banged his head in the bathroom. He knows his history as well. In the car from the station, he mentioned Mary Queen of Scots.
Oh.
But who knows? He must know a lot about queens, maybe.
Yeah.
What a two.
She almost killed the Virgin Queen, right? Didn't she try to kill her?
Oh, hey,
isn't that the story?
I'm lost, Nicky.
Oh, okay.
I don't know any virgins.
Elizabeth.
So where do you start with Nicky Siano? Okay, Nicky. Firstly, tell me about the hedonism, the days at Studio54 and the gallery.
Oh my God! Studio54 and the gallery are two different worlds. You're talking about hedonism, and that did not start until the mid 70s. So I started playing in 71, gallery opened in 72. So we had from when I went to David's Loft in 1970 to 1975, I didn't see much hedonism. I saw, except at the Continental Baths where Bette Midler sang, it was people who just wanted to dance.
Yeah.
Because this music was so new and different, and no radio station was playing it. No, you couldn't find it anywhere unless you found these 3 record stores that had it and you bought it yourself. So that hedonism thing, people get sucked into things. I was talking to the massage therapist about it, and how the lower kind of instincts of man are just they're gravitated towards by some people, and they have heavy influences on other people and pull them into all those lower instincts. And right now we're in a place where we've got to look at the higher instincts of man, and we have to go from a higher plane right now. So all of us that have connected with it, have to put out the word. The word, stand on it.
You know that. So was there a lot of rivalry between people like yourself and the Paradise Garage set up and David and everything?
No rivalry whatsoever. None.
You all got on?
David and I were the first ones. So the Paradise Garage opened in 77. That's the year that the gallery closed.
Right.
So it didn't really have a big effect on me. At first someone would come, and Larry came to me and he said, I'm playing records at the Continental Baths and da-da-da-da-da, and there's a tinge of, there was a pull there because Larry was my decorator. Larry Levan was my decorator. He was my friend, and here he was going to be playing at the Continental Baths, and knowing him, he'd be gone all week there. Even if he was just playing one night, he'd be there all week. So I sort of felt more like I'm going to lose you rather than a competition.
Right.
And in those early years, I felt like, well, Richie has something, David has something, I have something, and Michael Capello has something. These were the 4 major players in my lifetime, in my little circle, okay, at that time, before Larry and Frankie started playing. But Frankie was never Frankie Knuckles. Frankie was never someone who competed with us because Chicago.
He's
in Chicago. So, no, in those early days, no competition whatsoever. As a matter of fact, when we opened, which was the summer that the Loft closed, David came back from Spain, and someone asked him, I think I asked him, and I said, I hope you don't feel bad about the club because I love your house. I love it with a passion. And he says, I know, I see you there every Saturday. I threw you out twice. And I said to him, you know, I hope there's no, and he said, there is enough business for all of us right now. Don't worry about it. And he came back and he opened a new room.
Right.
And his attendance was a little light because of the gallery. But he had a 3,000 people mailing list waiting to get cards and invitations. So he just sent out a bunch of invitations and he was filled the next week. With a lot of white queens from Fire Island.
So tell me about the whole, I mean, obviously back then, the disco scene was very gay, it was very camp, very kind of a lot of film stars, etc. What happened to the music?
First gallery was a lot of fashion industry.
Right. Okay.
Go ahead.
So over here, what happened with over here? The music was just like New York. The gay scene was very much in a disco, but then it went really banging house and obviously high energy. Did that happen in New York at all? Or?
Went to house.
Right.
In '80.
Right.
But
so the
high energy thing hit one or two clubs in New York, but not many. It's just, I don't know. It just never hit New York. And to tell you the truth, if a record doesn't have words, well, there's energy to music, right?
Yeah.
Now, energy happens from a person putting their blood basically through this instrument and onto that tape.
Yep.
And if there's a guy in a room going button, 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 that doesn't happen that often. So the life energy in music, which so many people are back attracted to now, is something that you cannot deny when you listen to a record. When you get tears in your eyes or you feel something from a record, that ain't no guy in a room going da da da. It's usually a band together creating an emotion through their instruments.
Yep. Did you, I mean, I have, in my mind's eye, I imagine artists coming down to the gallery in Studio54 with acetates of new tracks. Was it like that?
Gallery. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I tell the story often. They brought me I Feel Love, the first acetate and the first night. And Mark Paul Simon from Casablanca asked me to put it on. Now, I never just put on a record cold, but I listened to it and something in the headphones just told me to play it. And I did. And the response was, wow, over the top. And then he took the acetate and said, I have other clubs to go to. I threw him out. I said, don't ever come back here, bitch.
So, obviously, before the internet, before cheap air travel, were you aware of what was going on over here? Had you heard of Wigan Casino? Do you know about Wigan Casino?
No. I have no knowledge of what happened over here until like 98 and past. Because in 83, my best friend died of AIDS, and I was so freaked out. I just threw and I got sober for the first time.
Okay.
And I couldn't be in clubs, except I went to the garage a lot, and once in a while, and I just stopped going to clubs. I worked with people with AIDS. That's what I did, and I was so hurt by all these people dying and dying and dying that I was searching for an answer. And that's why I wrote my book in '93, No Time to Wait, for people with AIDS. And it was about alternatives before this triple antiretroviral therapy came out. And it's just, I don't know, like just with the music, I just went at it with the passion. So I was like blinders on, reading studies on AZT, reading studies on all these drugs, because I had to go in to
So it absorbed you that much?
I had to go into doctor's office and campaign for these patients who wanted alternative therapies. And I had to know my shit. So they would say AZT, and I quote the study. How many people did, for how long. I quote the study from my head, and they would just shut the fuck up and give them what I wanted them to have. And I saved a lot of people's lives. I mean, a lot of good karma, a lot of good juju came from those years, a lot of bad experiences.
Cool. Well, I have to tell you that Wigan Casino is a very famous club over here, and it actually got voted best club in the world over Studio 54 in Billboard magazine. So I have to rub your nose in that a little bit. You really should look at it, but
Is it still open or no?
oh no, it burned down, but it was a massive club.
I'm gonna go online and
yeah,
look
you
at
need to
pictures.
check it out. I'm surprised.
WIGGIN.
I'm surprised. Wigan Casino. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
And they were playing kind of all new disco, but it was still mainly a lot of 60s rare soul and everything.
Right. So this was really early on then, you said?
Well, it was 1970, the mid 70s to the early 80s. But
Okay.
yeah, honestly, check it out. Check it out. So what can we expect from you tonight? Do you
Music.
Do you go in there and play it by ear, or do you know what you're doing already?
No. I never know what I'm doing. I mean, I always think I'm gonna open with this song, and I get there, and I just start feeling something, and something in my head says, no, that song.
Right.
And I just go with it. I try to go with the first thought that enters my mind. I try not to think about it or second guess it, because I think that first thing is inspiration, everything else is ego. So I just try to go with that first thought that comes into my head.
How did you get on in America? Are you still very busy over there, or is it a British and European thing for you?
No, my birthday party was, 1,000 people.
We never got an invite.
Oh, honey, come
I
on.
am gutted.
And personal invite.
Never got an invite to his 40th.
21st this was. This is a real 21st birthday.
So, are you busy over there as well?
Yes. A lot more busier than I want to be. I mean, a lot of requests. I turned down practically 3 requests in New York a month.
Right.
Because I want to do this native New Yorker thing. I want it to be special. I want them to hear me on a good system.
Yeah.
So I do the good
So
room.
you're still obsessed with the good system, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gotta be. The system is what people come to hear. Music. It's gotta be on a good system. Otherwise, we're defeating the whole purpose of it.
I totally agree. I mean, until the Ministry came along over here, the sound system was the last thing on people's minds. It was like, let's put some pretty seats in.
Right,
Let's put some pretty
Right.
And how much have we got left for the sound? The Ministry did it the same way as America. They went, we've got freaking this amount of money for the sound. If we've got anything left, we'll put some fucking doors on.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did at the gallery.
Yeah.
I mean, we had $10,000. The best sound man at the time, Alex Rosner, we knew we wanted Alex because he did all the sound systems everywhere we went.
Yeah.
The Loft, I saw his little thing at the Loft. I saw his thing at the Limelight, the first Limelight. And then I went to roller skate at Rockefeller Center.
You were roller
and I
skating?
looked at, not roller, ice skating, and I looked in the thing where they had all the amps for the little speakers.
Yeah.
Rosner Custom Sound. I said, Robin, it's gotta be Rosner. And he came in, he said, we got $10,000. We didn't tell him that, of course. He says, I got this great system for you. 3 A7s here, only $6,000. So
What was that?
72.
$6,000 is quite a lot of money in 1972.
Yeah. I mean, we opened the club for 12. We borrowed another 5, I think. For 15,000, the whole club was open.
Wow.
I mean, I think we borrowed it for the second gallery. I don't know. I really don't remember which gallery. We borrowed an extra 5, I know, which we paid back almost immediately. I mean, there was just such a demand back then.
Yeah.
It was like every place that opened, as long as you had a good music relator in the booth, you had a great place, And yeah, it was always the sound system was always the first thing. I always until after studio, this whole other thing started.
Yeah.
You know, but they didn't understand that Steve Rebell actually went to Richard Long and had him build the best sound system for that space. So they didn't understand that. They went for the look because studio had this great, look to it.
Okay. I'm going to ask you some one-word answer things. And the answer is Chicago or New York. Music.
New York.
I know where this is going to fucking go. DJs.
New York. I mean, wait.
Clubs.
New York.
Oh, fucking hell. Right, get your ass out there and party, and we can't wait to hear you, okay? You New York fucking loving ass licking fucking. Right, have a good time, okay?
Okay.
Thank you for coming to MFSB. We've had you
At the weekend
times,
No.
and we appreciate you coming.
Okay.
That was great.
Thanks, Joe.
You're a legend.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.